So today we're going to go ahead and talk about the similarities and the differences of Xerjoff Uden with Mandarina Duck Black Extreme. And we're going to do that coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is the first time you've visited this channel, please click the subscribe button below and click the bell icon so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And today we are going to go ahead and talk about the similarities and of course the differences between Xerjoff Uden and Mandarina Duck Black Extreme. So quite some time ago, I bought a bottle of Mandarina Duck Black, very inexpensively on Amazon. It was around $35, $40. I enjoyed it, and a subscriber mentioned, I think it was Jim. Jim, if you're watching, you know who you are. He mentioned that Mandarina Duck Black Extreme had come out. It's Eau de Parfum concentration, so the EDP version of Mandarina Duck Black. So I bought it and really loved it, and I put it aside to stop wearing it. And several years ago, when I bought the 3 bottles of Xerjoffs at the Stockholm Arlanda airport coming back to the States, I found a bottle of, this Uden and Neo and Kobe, and they were pretty inexpensive. So I brought them in and I started wearing them. And I really love Uden. It's become my favorite out of the 3 that I bought. And it started reminding me of a fragrance that I had and I couldn't figure it out. So enjoyed wearing Uden, got lots of compliments. The only thing I hated about it is the fact that it's really expensive. And in the States, the 100 ml bottle retails for around $500, $4.99 or something. I'm sure there's deals out there, but suggested retails are just around $500. So I was like, I got to use this up very, very conservatively because it's expensive fragrance. So wearing it over and over again, though, I kept starting to think, God, this is reminding me of something that I have, and I couldn't figure it out. And at one point, I was digging around fragrances and I saw this in the back and I'm like, oh, let me pull that out. I really did enjoy it. And I pulled it out and I put it on and I'm like, wow, now I'm starting to remember what this fragrance is that Xerjoff Uden reminds me of. And it is Mandarina Duck Black Extreme. Now, out of the 2, Mandarina Duck Black and Mandarina Duck Black Extreme, I really love Mandarina Duck Black Extreme. It's just, for me, it has a lot more projection, even though it's an EDP. A lot more classiness to it and a lot more interesting vibe to the fragrance compared to the original Mandarina Duck Black. So if you haven't tried the Black Extreme and you like Mandarina Duck Black, definitely do that. Not only because it's similar to Uden, but also because it's just much, much better than the original Mandarina Duck Black. I think it performs better, plus the projections, to me, seems like it's a lot better. A bigger projection, definitely longer lasting, and compliments galore. Both of these fragrances I get major compliments from. But to kind of give the differences, with Black Extreme, at the top you've got bergamot, mandarin orange, and black pepper. In the heart you've got tonka bean, jasmine, and neroli. And in the base you've got sandalwood, vanilla, and cedar. And this is a pretty big dominant tonka bean fragrance, so it's sort of gourmandish, but not quite. It doesn't go into the territory of Fève Délicieuse, if that's what you're thinking, because there's no cacao, but it's definitely tonka bean. And with Uden, you've got at the top grapefruit, citruses, and lemon. In the heart notes, you've got gaiac, rum, rose, and sandalwood. In the base, you've got coffee, vanilla, musk, and ambergris. So totally different notes, although there's some similar notes like vanilla and citruses and things like that. But other than that, these 2 have completely different notes. They're just completely different. And then of course, there's also the fact that they spray on completely different because they start out completely different. The times I started noticing that this started reminding me of this is when I was, like, several times I wore this at an event. One time it was a wedding, and then another time was just kind of a party that I had gone to, just when my body temperature kind of heated up. And during the dry down of this one is when I started thinking, God, this is really reminding me of something that I have. And that's when it does remind me of Mandarina Duck Black, when it's starting to dry down. But when you first spray this, they're completely different. Like this, immediately you can pick up the tonka bean, but here it's all citruses. It's all very, very beautiful citruses. But as it's drying down is when you're starting to think, God, this is similar to Mandarina Duck Black if you tested both of them. I've also heard that people say this reminds them of Allure Homme from Chanel, or perhaps even Edition Blanche. I could see that too, but if you want something even closer, this is it right here, because just wow, when it's drying down, you think that you're wearing Uden because they are so close to me. I like the fact that they start out completely different, which is really unique because you're gonna think it's gonna go in a different direction, but then, you know, it's drying down to be this. And again, these are not identical, even though they dry down smelling similar, they're not smelling identical. They don't become identical scents. They're in no way the same scent. They're completely different, but they start reminding me on the dry down. And this Uden, compared to Mandarina Duck Black Extreme, is a lot classier. So it's classy. You can see the bottle. This is the older bottle. They have now changed their bottles, but definitely the Xerjoff fragrances have a class on their own. They're very beautifully classy, like really awesome. And you can see that, the refinement, the classiness in the fragrances, and it won't match this. It definitely doesn't match this. So I'm not saying this is like as good as this, I'm not. But if you're on a budget and you've smelled this, you've had decants, and you've been wanting a bottle, but it's so damn expensive, $500 for a 100 ml bottle, you can probably appreciate the fragrance on its own if you know, leave this one aside and wear this one only in special occasions if you do have a bottle. But for me, they're very close when they're drying down, and sometimes I just wear this one because I really love that initial blast of the spices and tonka bean hints. Even though the tonka bean, you know, comes through in the heart more, you still get it in the initial blast with the citruses that are at the top. The other cool thing is, since I have this Mandarina Duck Black and I've been using this very sparingly, I decided to go ahead and buy another bottle of Mandarina Duck Black. I haven't opened it yet, just for safekeeping or backup, because I don't know how long they'll make these. I mean, things get discontinued frequently, you know that. And the fact that this is a really good price from Amazon, I bought it for around $55. So, I mean, I have a pretty full bottle here still of this, and I'm wearing it more frequently now. But I have a backup of it, and if you want to pick up a bottle, I have a link to Amazon below. Go ahead and give it a try. And if you don't know anything about Mandarina Duck, it's a small Italian designer, and I don't think they make clothes. They make accessories more, like they make like bags and handbags and luggages and things like that. Because I remember being in Italy last March, I did see a Mandarina Duck store. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go inside because I was kind of like, it was in a train station. So I wanted to go in and check out some of their newer releases because I do like some of their offerings. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Maybe this time I will. But again, it's a designer house, and the fragrances get discounted really heavily after they're released for a while. And definitely, I definitely highly recommend checking them out. There's a few that have just come out. There's a red one that I'm curious to try. I think there's a blue one in a bottle. I can't remember their names right now. But it's a small house from Italy. And from what I remember, I think the perfumer behind this one is Nathalie Lorson. And I think she did Encre Noire for Lalique. So she's very well known in the perfume world, and has been making fragrances for quite some time. So, you know, there's gonna be quality going with it. So, I mean, definitely check it out if you're curious to try it, and if you've been a fan of Uden, I think I would pick up, maybe, if you're not really sure you wanna do a full bottle because, you know, $55, $60 is more expensive too, get some samples if you can figure out a way to get some samples or decants. But if you're looking for a replacement for this, definitely check this one out. I really think that once this dries down, it becomes this. So I recommend it. So guys, what are your thoughts? Are you familiar with Uden? Have you tried it? And are you familiar with Mandarina Duck Black Extreme? Have you tried it? Have you compared the two? Do so and let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the fact that they're very similar. Once this is drying down, it becomes this. Also, what do you think about Mandarina Duck as a brand? Do you like this brand? Have you tried their fragrances? Are you curious? Let me know so we can get a conversation started. I really do recommend this one. Even if you've never tried this, I think this is a really quality designer release. It's one of the better designer fragrances out there, and I really like it. It's a top 20 for me. Really definitely one of the better designer fragrances out there. So do give it a try. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.